Could a salary-strapped Clippers team hand the Celtics the exact frontcourt weapon they've been missing since losing Porzingis and Horford? There's a palpable buzz rippling through the TD Garden corridors right now, and it's not just typical December excitement. No, this is something different. Something that could fundamentally reshape Boston's championship aspirations. The whispers coming out of Los Angeles suggest that Brook Lopez, the 7-foot defensive anchor and three-point threat, might actually be available. And for a Celtics team that's been scrambling to fill the gaping hole left by their off-season departures, this isn't just good news, it's potentially franchise-altering. Let's cut straight to the heart of this. Boston has a center problem. Anyone who's watched this team grind through the first quarter of the season knows it. The departure of Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis didn't just leave a void, it left a chasm. Those two players brought a unique blend of floor spacing, rim protection, and veteran savvy that simply cannot be replicated by committee. The Celtics have tried to make it work, shuffling lineups and asking their wings to do more, but there's only so much duct tape you can apply before the whole thing starts to crack. Enter Brook Lopez, stage left, courtesy of a Los Angeles Clippers organization that's watching their championship window slam shut faster than a Boston winter storm rolling in off the Atlantic. Here's where this gets absolutely fascinating from a strategic standpoint. According to NBA salary cap analyst Yossi Goslin, and this guy knows the cap inside and out like a cartographer knows maps, the Clippers are currently sitting $6.8 million above the luxury tax threshold. That might not sound catastrophic to the casual observer, but in the Byzantine world of NBA finances, it's a five-alarm fire. Why? Because if the Clippers can duck below that tax line before the season ends, they reset their repeater tax clock for the next 3 seasons. We're talking about potentially saving tens of millions of dollars down the road. For an ownership group that's already hemorrhaging money and watching their championship dreams evaporate with every Kawhi Leonard injury update and Bradley Beal setback, this isn't just smart business, it's survival. The Clippers came into this season with legitimate title aspirations. They made significant offseason additions, restructured their roster, and positioned themselves to be a top 4 seed in the brutal Western Conference. Instead, they've been absolutely devastated by injuries and underperformance. Leonard can't stay healthy, Beal has been in and out of the lineup, and the chemistry that was supposed to gel by now looks more like oil and water. Translation, they're sellers, and when a team with championship-caliber talent becomes a seller, smart organizations pounce. Let's talk about what Lopez brings to the table, because this isn't just about acquiring a warm body to fill minutes at the 5. This is about finding a player who can seamlessly integrate into Boston's offensive and defensive schemes while replacing the specific skill sets they lost. First, the defense. Lopez has been one of the premier rim protectors in the NBA for years. His timing, length, and positioning make him a nightmare for opposing drivers. He doesn't just block shots, he alters them, changes angles, and forces opponents to think twice before attacking the paint. That's exactly what Boston has been missing. Without a legitimate shot blocker anchoring the middle, teams have been attacking the Celtics' interior with impunity. But here's where it gets even better: Lopez can shoot. We're not talking about a big man who can occasionally knock down an open corner 3. We're talking about a legitimate floor spacer who shot over 36% from beyond the arc last season and has consistently proven he can punish defenses that sag off him. This is critical for Boston's offensive system, which relies heavily on spacing the floor and creating driving lanes for their perimeter players. Think about what Porzingis brought when he was healthy. That ability to step out to the three-point line, drag opposing centers away from the basket, and open up the entire floor. Lopez provides that same dimension. He's not as mobile as Porzingis, and he doesn't have quite the same offensive versatility, but he's more durable, more experienced, and arguably a better pure defender. And let's not overlook the intangibles. Lopez is a consummate professional, a veteran who's been through playoff wars, and a player who understands his role and executes it without drama. In a locker room that's trying to navigate the loss of key veterans, that kind of steady presence is invaluable. Here's what makes this potential trade so compelling. Boston isn't desperate. They're not a struggling team trying to salvage a lost season. As of this writing, they've won 6 of their last 8 games and are comfortably above .500. They're competing, they're finding ways to win, and they're showing the kind of resilience that championship teams need. But, and this is a crucial, but they're also clearly not operating at their ceiling. You can see it in the close games, in the fourth quarter struggles, in the moments when they need a veteran presence in the paint and come up empty. They're winning now. But what happens when they face a fully healthy Milwaukee team in a 7-game series? What happens when they run into a Philadelphia squad with Joel Embiid dominating the interior? That's the question keeping Brad Stevens up at night. Boston has the talent to make a deep playoff run, but they don't have the complete roster. They're one piece away from being a legitimate title contender, and that piece is staring them right in the face. The beauty of their current position is that they can make this move from a position of strength. They're not panicking, they're not mortgaging the future, and they're not making a desperation play. This would be a calculated strategic acquisition designed to elevate an already competitive team to championship level. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Can Boston actually pull this off? The financial mechanics of an NBA trade are notoriously complex, especially when you're dealing with teams in different tax situations. The Celtics would need to match salary, which likely means packaging multiple players or including draft compensation. But here's the thing. If the Clippers are genuinely motivated to shed salary, Boston has the assets to make a deal work without gutting their core. They have young players on reasonable contracts, they have future draft picks, and they have the kind of front office creativity that's made them one of the league's most successful organizations over the past decade. The question isn't whether they can make a deal, it's whether they're willing to pay the price. And given where this team is positioned, given the window they have with their current core, the answer should be an emphatic yes. Let's project forward for a moment. Imagine a Celtics lineup with Brook Lopez anchoring the middle, providing rim protection, spacing the floor, and giving them the kind of frontcourt presence they've been missing. Suddenly, those matchups against the elite Eastern Conference teams look a lot more favorable. Against Milwaukee, you have a legitimate answer for their interior presence. Against Philadelphia, you can match size and shooting. Against Miami's physical playoff style, you have the veteran toughness to withstand the pressure. This isn't just about making the playoffs. Boston is going to make the playoffs regardless. This is about having the pieces necessary to win 4 playoff series and hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy in June. That's the standard in Boston. And anything less is considered a failure. Lopez would give them that chance. He'd provide the missing ingredient in a recipe that's already pretty damn good. And in a league where championship windows are measured in years, not decades, you can't afford to waste opportunities. Here's the reality that Boston's front office understands. These opportunities don't come around often. When a player of Lopez's caliber becomes available, when the financial circumstances align, when your team is positioned to compete right now, you have to strike. The trade deadline is approaching, and you can bet that other contenders are circling the Clippers like sharks sensing blood in the water. Boston doesn't have the luxury of waiting, of deliberating, of hoping something better comes along. This is the move, this is the moment, and this is the player who can transform their season. The Celtics have been patient, they've been strategic, and they've been building toward this exact scenario. Now it's time to execute. Now it's time to make the move that separates pretenders from contenders, that turns a good team into a great one, that gives them the legitimate shot at banner number 18 that this city desperately craves. Brook Lopez might not be a household name to casual fans, but to anyone who understands basketball at a deep level, he's exactly what Boston needs. The question is no longer whether he'd be a good fit. It's whether the Celtics can get the deal done before someone else beats them to the punch. So, what do you think? Is Brook Lopez the missing piece that finally completes Boston's championship puzzle, or should the Celtics be looking elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button if you want to see more insider analysis on the moves that could reshape the Eastern Conference playoff picture.